What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 192 of the THQ weekly podcast, where we talk about all things gaming. On this episode, we discuss games we've been playing, including Baldur's Gate 3. We have opinions. We will talk about them. We also talk about game releases of this month. We talk about the games coming out. We talk about the games we're excited for, and the games we picked up, and the games we plan on picking up. We also watch the Lords of the Fallen hands-on preview via IGN. It's coming out soon, and I want to know more, so we watched that. And then the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase happened, in which they show off a bunch of new titles coming out, but also sequels and remakes of games that have already existed before, so definitely stay tuned for that. There's a lot of interesting stuff they show off there. And then we, of course, read your comments. So do us a favor and hit the like button on the video. It helps out the channel a lot. Hit the subscribe button if you like what we're doing here and you want to see more video game content. Share it with your friends and all that stuff. And I hope you enjoy this Tastecast. What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 192 of the Tastecast weekly podcast, where we talk about all things gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me today, of course, is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. This is early for us, so haven't gone through a day yet.
Yeah, it's for me a better situation though, because typically when we record, it's like late at night. I've already worked, been to the gym, done all that stuff, and I'm falling asleep. And right now, I feel really good. So really excited to have this conversation with you today. Feeling energized, although possibly a little groggy, but I've had my caffeine, so I'm sure that'll manifest in some way. Yeah, so big news with the channel. Before we get into all the topics today, I have access to my YouTube Shorts, as I'm sure some of you have noticed for sure. For anybody who doesn't know, I've been making TikToks for a while now, short form content, things that are topical, and I haven't been able to post them here on YouTube. For everybody listening over on Spotify, go over to YouTube. And I haven't been able to post them. So about a week ago, I was just checking on my app, and all of a sudden I just had access to Shorts again. And I was like, oh. So I've been posting retroactively some videos just to test kind of the algorithm, see how Shorts works, because I'm kind of left behind a bit on this. But I've been bringing videos I did over on TikTok over to Shorts and posting those, and then I've been posting new videos as well. So it's been kind of interesting to kind of see how the Shorts algorithm works here on YouTube, having access to it, which is great, because I feel like I'm putting work into content over on TikTok that I really wish I could be putting here as well, because this is, where we do, the main content. So it sucks that I had to segregate certain content over there. One problem I'm running into, though, is YouTube Shorts only is 60 seconds as of right now. TikTok originally was also very short, so I'm sure it'll go up at some point, but it kind of sucks because I'll make videos that are over a minute. I try and keep them under 2 minutes because that's a bit long for TikTok, but I also have a lot to say typically about things, so I'll go over a minute. And so a challenge I'm running into here on YouTube is I have to cut the videos to fit for 60 seconds. I have to decide what part of the video I need to cut. So if you guys are watching any of these shorts, and please let me know if you are, if you're not noticing them, stuff like that. This is all new for me right now. If you're watching them, I'm sure you're seeing some weird edits. So that's what's going on. I can't fit the whole video here, but I try to keep the main message. So anyway, I'm uploading shorts. Let me know what you guys think. So far, they're doing for this channel on YouTube better than I expected, because I'm getting like anywhere between like 50 to like 300 views a short, which for YouTube, for me, for this channel is really good. But I've been looking at the comparison of my videos on TikTok and my videos on YouTube, and it's like I get like 200 views here, and I get like anywhere from like 20,000 to 120,000 views on TikTok for the same video. So not quite the same, but I might have to work my way up through the algorithm on Shorts. But anyway, long story short, I have my short form content here on YouTube as well. So let me know what you guys think of it in the comments, or watch them and comment there. Let me know if you're seeing the shorts. Let me know if you even watch shorts. It's all interesting feedback. This is not a typical thing for this channel to be discussing shorts, so it's all new for me. and feedback is welcome. But yeah, it's nice to be able to finally be able to utilize YouTube fully. That I've been using it for years, uploading for years, and didn't have access to a feature for some reason. So anyway, yeah, so we're doing good. I got shorts. Let's jump into game releases for this month. This is the first episode, Tastecast, of August. So let's talk about game releases. This is via thegamer.com. So if there's any errors here, it's not my fault. It's their fault. All right, let's go. August 1st, we got Verses of Enchantment on PC. Then August 3rd, we got Baldur's Gate 3 on PC. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. August 7th, we got Videoverse on PC. Then August 8th, we got Gourd on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And then we got WrestleQuest as well on the 8th for PC or PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Atlas Fallen finally came out on August 10th for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Stray came out on Xbox One and Xbox Series on August 10th. I didn't realize, or at least I guess forgot, that did not come out on Xbox originally. So congrats to everybody who likes cats on Xbox. Play that. August 15th, we got Moving Out 2 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. And then Everspace 2 fully releases on, or at least comes to console. Never mind, it already fully released on PS5 and Xbox Series on the 15th. 16th, we got On Guard on PC. And on the 17th, we got Vampire Survivors on Switch. Very cool to see. August 18th, we got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. I thought that came out already, but I guess not. August 18th, we got Bomb Rush Cyberpunk on that kind of blew my mind. I want to say Cyberpunk. Switch and PC. Then the 18th as well, we got Madden NFL 24 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, PC. Then Immortals of Avium comes out on August 22nd on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And then joining it, we got Fort Solis on PS5 and PC. That is on the 22nd. August 24th, we got Blasphemous 2 coming out on PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. And then Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon comes out on the 25th. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Spoiler, I have to play that. August 29th, Sea of Stars, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Then on the 29th as well, we got Goodbye Volcano High, PS4, PS5, PC. Then the 29th, everything from here on out, it's all the 29th apparently. Under the Waves, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. Samba Day, Amigo, Party Central on Switch, and then the last game of the month on the 29th as well, Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles, PS5, Switch, and PC. Shelly, what have you picked up? What are you going to pick up? And you curious about anything?
Well, I mean, like many, I picked up Baldur's Gate 3, which we'll get to a little bit. Let's see. Happy for Xbox players to get Stray. Mm-hmm. That was a fun game. I would recommend playing it. It's not super long, and the story is pretty good, actually. Or the whole experience, I should say.
It's like a 6-8 hour game, mm-hmm. So you can fly through that.
And then Vampire Survivors on Switch. So, another way to play that mobily. So that's a good thing. I will be picking up Armored Core 6 for sure. Hey, also, unless it just gets bad reviews, we'll be picking up Sea of Stars. That is that Chrono Trigger inspired pixel or like JRPG game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to get that. So, that's pretty much it this month.
That's it. You're not getting Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles.
I don't even know what that is.
Me neither. I have no fucking idea. I picked up Baldur's Gate 3 when it was in early access when it first came out. I have been playing as if it's a brand new game. So I have picked that up, and we will be talking about that this episode when we talk about games we've been playing. Atlas Fallen, I feel obligated to buy it because I made all these videos about how the game was giving me a stroke every time I heard about it, and slowly it became more and more interesting looking, and I've watched reviews on it, and everybody just says the story sucks, but the gameplay's good. I'm like, well, luckily, I think gameplay's king, and story is just a nice cherry on top. So if the game's fun, fuck it. And so I might pick it up, but I also, am currently trying to play specific games right now. Like my time is really tight, and there are some big high profile games I have to play and beat, and so it will have to possibly sit on the back burner. And maybe if it is on sale, I'll pick it up just to get it. But yeah, definitely interested in playing Atlas Fallen. If I knew somebody who bought it and wanted to play co-op, I'd probably be more inclined to pick it up. But it's definitely on my radar. Let's see. Everspace 2, ever since it came out fully released and coming out to console, I've been wanting to return to it because I bought that in early access. It was really neat then, so I already own it. But I seeing it release on console makes me want to play it. I also want to check out the co-op for Vampire Survivors, but I already own that as well. I don't know if it's out yet or not. August that it comes out, or did it come out last month? Doesn't matter. I'll look it up. Texas Chainsaw Massacre I'm interested in picking up, but only if people I know are playing it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be playing that game by myself. I played it in the beta, and it was a cool enough game, but the game was much better when I was communicating with people, whether I was the killers or the victims. So it's not a game I'm going to be playing unless I know somebody who plays it. But I could see like Cody picking that game up, so we will see. I'd like to see reviews on Immortals of Avium. That game looked kind of interesting. It's very generic looking in its style, but the gameplay, essentially being a first-person magic game, is neat looking, but I'm not sold on it really. But if it gets like good reviews, I'd be interested in maybe picking it up because it seems refreshing enough. Blasphemous 2, I'm kind of interested in as well, just because the first one was kind of neat. It's the 2D, I believe that's that 2D Dark Souls style game. Do you remember that? Anyway, nobody does. I might pick it up though. Armored Core 6 is one of my most hyped games of forever, so I'm very excited to pick that up, and I will 100% be playing that when that comes out. So yeah, it's a must buy for me. And then nothing else, but yeah, a lot of game. There's like 2 must own games this month for me personally. One of them I already have. And then a lot of little curiosities that I could see myself picking up this month. So not too bad, but yeah, plenty of stuff to play this month. Anything else you want to say? All right, let us know in the comments what games in August have you picked up or do you want to pick up. Is there anything that's not on this list that you want to throw out there, maybe an indie game or something that should be shouted out? Let us know in the comments below. All right, let's jump into what we've been playing. We're talking about the games we've been playing in like the last week or so. You want to start us off, Chevy?
Sure. Excuse me. I'll start with the short one. I logged into Final Fantasy 14. I have not played a whole lot, but if I don't log in periodically, I lose the free company in the house. So so I logged in. Just kind of an update there for anyone who's potentially interested. They are doing a free login campaign right now. So you can log in for, I think it's like 4 days, free gameplay if you have an existing account. And then coming soon for the free accounts, you'll be able to play through Stormblood. So that'll be 2 base game and 2 free expansions for the free version of the game coming up soon. And they are doing the summer event right now. So there is, if you're into jumping puzzles, there's a giant jumping puzzle you can do. So, but that's pretty much it in that front. I need to hop in and do some stuff in that game. I'm falling behind because there's other games to play and they've taken my attention. So speaking of those other games, I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. I am now 76% way through the game, I think. So I'm getting through it.
Almost done.
The story events, I should say, not the story itself. The story's been pretty consistent, but the events that are happening have been a lot more like amplified and pretty crazy. Similar to the beginning of the game. And me and you kind of talked about this, at work, but it's funny how like the beginning of the game is like super, a lot going on, really big events, stuff like that. And then the middle, there's still stuff going on, but it seems like the events are not as big for a little while. It kind of like slows down a little bit. And then as you're getting towards the end, it's getting big again. And that was kind of exactly, though with way worse pacing, how 15 was. So kind of funny.
And how every Rockstar game is, but amplified by way more because anytime I think of games that start off really good and end really good, but the middle is just kind of like whatever, it's always Rockstar.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5, fucking Red Dead, Redemption 2, fucking it's it happens. I'm sure it's
Well, sure, like making the journey as interesting as like the introduction or like the ending of something is probably hard. So
sure. I just know they have to hook you early in games, and they have to finish off in a way that's going to make you go, holy shit. And I don't want to assume that when people make big games, they're trying to fill the game artificially. I mean, Ubisoft would, but like somebody like Rockstar, Square. I don't think they're artificially filling the center of the game, the middle of the game with stuff to just kind of keep you busy. But I do think in the process of trying to tell a story, you start getting sidetracked in what kind of side quests you can be throwing in there, what kind of little things you could be doing here and there that starts bloating the middle of a game story-wise, especially when you're getting to, because in the beginning of the game you don't have all your features unlocked yet, and at the end of the game you're less worried about unlocking new features and try to resolve the story. In the middle of the game is when you're fully experiencing the full gameplay of games typically, and I think at that point they're trying to really expand from the main storyline possibly to get you some more gameplay, and in that it might detract a bit from focusing on getting the story rolling.
yeah, though I will say with 16, I don't think it feels slow. I want to clarify that. I just the scale just kind of is tempered is the word I'll use in the middle. But they're doing a good job of keeping the story going. So that is a nice thing. I just noticed that the events that are happening now are like in the beginning of the game, it's like super crazy, and then I'm running into pretty crazy events right now. There's some, spots here and there. Obviously, the icon fights are always crazy, but a lot of the middle journey is just kind of home base, seeing how everyone's doing, et cetera, et cetera. So
what you're saying is it's like an anime where certain scenes are animated really well and the rest of it's still good, but they don't animate as well.
well, we can use that analogy, sure.
Perfect.
So let's see. What else have I tried? I turned on Remnant 2, played the intro, and that's it. I've been mostly waiting for like some free time to like play, specifically with you. That is not a game I'm going to play by myself, because I know I'll just enjoy it more with someone. So
I'm ready to play with somebody.
Yeah, well, time's been weird.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we could probably find some time this weekend. And then the other game I have been playing, which is the game that everyone has been playing, obviously not literally, but feels like it. Baldur's Gate 3, picked it up. I did not buy it in early access because I'm trying really hard not to just do that ever again. I'm kind of tired of buying early access games because then I don't play them when they release. So I just wait for them to release. I buy them then. That's my strategy at least going forward, unless I'm just like super tempted. But right now I have so much shit to play that that's just working for me.
Yeah, I definitely buy early release access games. I have no qualms with it, but it's never a fixed outcome in that situation. Some people do it good, some people don't do it good. In terms of Baldur's Gate 3, not to detract from you talking about your impressions, we'll get into that in a sec, but I am happy that I did invest early because Baldur's Gate 3, and we don't have to get into the conversation again, it's 2 weeks now since people have been talking about the AAA indie thing, but Larian kind of showed how well a good early access campaign can be, because they actually utilize the time and the funds and put out a product that people
they took feedback
are really loving, and they really did listen to people. And so this is a rare moment. I don't say this often, where I feel really good about the early access part, because I feel like I invested in a project that the dev really delivered on. And so this is not an example of all early access, but a great example of how early access can be beneficial under the right dev who has a good strategy. Whereas like a game like Star Citizen, I always hear people complaining about, which kind of sucks because that's a game I still haven't played. But I had thought about a couple times investing in it. to help them with the production of the game, and the game's still not anywhere near done. I don't know if it ever will be, but a sentiment a sentiment that I hear often is that because the game kind of fluctuates in when it's good and when it's bad, when it's good and when it's bad, because they're actively just working on it as people play it. It doesn't sound like people are like overwhelmingly positive about that game, probably because of the duration of the development of the game has probably fatigued a lot of people. So a lot of stuff I hear is negative, even though a lot of these people still play it. When they complain about it, it's kind of reminds me of like a Blizzard situation where they're playing WoW but bitching about it.
True.
Or Diablo 4, apparently. I'm hearing crazy stuff about that, and Overwatch 2, dude. What the fuck is going on? Did you see it's like overwhelmingly negative on Steam? Holy shit. So anyway, long story short, Larian did a fantastic job with their early access campaign, and I feel good about investing in it. So anyway.
Yeah. And I do think, those, if people who can participate in those systems and find enjoyment in the game in a long term is a good thing. I just know myself, and I won't return to it. So
yeah, that was something I was very very cognizant of when I was playing the early access. I saw that it was absolutely an alpha when I was playing it, and I was like, this is not how I want to experience this game. So I gave them my money. I've sampled the product. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I'm uninstalling it.
Yeah.
And I will wait till it fully releases. And I'm glad I did, because where I'm at in the game so far, which is still very early on, feels like a brand new fucking game to me. So
that's great. Yeah, I'm basically in the beginning. I've played the beginning twice now. I played by myself a little bit because it was driving me crazy. I'm trying to like beat 16, so I'm trying to keep my focus there. But with this coming out and everyone just like praising the holy hell out of it, I was like, I have to at least try it real quick. So I sat down for a night. I played through the intro and like up until you're let into an encampment. So it's right in the beginning, but I'm going to stay vague intentionally. So not very far. I'm sure most of you have been there who's played it.
Did you get your shit stolen? All right. We'll keep it vague.
Also, I don't even know what you're talking about. So
I just know what encampment you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I entered it and saved and quit. So
wait, are you talking about like an encampment, like a big group of people, or like a small camp?
Like right after, so
there are goblins involved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So did that, got into the gate and then saved and quit. And then I started another game, and with my single player game, I'm playing a fighter with a bow. It's my kind of one of my go-tos when I'm playing a fresh D&D game, just to get a feel for a game, because it's brain empty. And then as I play multiplayer with people, I usually will play something a little more entertaining. I also turned off the karma dice because I want to experience, for better or worse, D&D. So
for anybody who doesn't know, the karma dice is on by default, and what it does, it makes it so you can't get like a bunch of bad rolls in a row.
Yeah.
It has a system where it doesn't want you to feel, because sometimes if you play a game like Celasta and it has like legit dice rolls, you can just like play for like an hour and just be getting bad rolls, just like real D&D. And it's frustrating. I think a lot of people who are maybe new to the genre, new to D&D, might find it a bit of a downer to be playing a game and being upset with the rolls. But anyone who's like truly into like D&D will probably appreciate the more realistic dice rolls. But yeah, the karma system just makes it so you can't be rolling negatively constantly. It starts upping your chance of getting better rolls to have a better experience.
I think for the sake of playing a video game, for people who are coming into it as a video game, the karma dice is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's still random, so it just has a safety net for repetitive failure.
It was like, didn't Nintendo have something on the?
Almost every Nintendo game has a don't feel bad system.
Yeah, if you're getting your ass kicked, the game gets easier or something like that. It has an adaptive system. It's something like that. And I actually think it's really neat because there are a bunch of people who have no experience with these kind of games in this genre right now playing this game. People who know I've seen so many videos where people are like, I don't know anything about D&D, but I'm playing this game. And so if you're going for just a gaming experience where you're like, okay, I don't really do strategy or tactical type games, so I want this guy to hit that guy, and they do hit them typically. I think it's better than, their first time playing a game like this, and they're happen beginning bad rolls a lot, and they're just failing constantly. It can be a little disheartening, I think. So I am glad they have a system for that for I don't want to say casuals. There's people just aren't, people are new to the genre possibly.
Not everyone wants to play a game that's trying to punish them.
Yeah,
So.
but I also am glad that they have a system for anybody who's like, whoa, I'm like a D&D purist. I need like real dice rolls. This needs to be like realistic. So they definitely thought about everybody in that regard. And on that note too, of people playing this who have never played games like this before, because this used to be, I can't call it niche anymore. This used to be a very niche genre.
Especially the type of game it is.
Yeah, but now with the popularity of this game, if you look at the Steam numbers, 800-something thousand concurrent players.
That's wild.
It's not niche, and it's made so much money that it's
not
definitely
even console yet.
Yeah, it's fucking that's fucking crazy. It's so funny to see everyone praising it, but also, and we'll get back to the impressions. I keep thinking about the event that is Baldur's Gate 3 right now. I've seen people talking online about how they're like, this game's amazing and great and stuff. I just hate the combat. And I'm like, well, that's, if anything, a nuanced opinion. Like, it's funny that you can still see the quality and you're enjoying the game, but you don't like the combat is like a huge part of the gameplay. But I'm seeing stuff like that where people are like really breaking down it's an undeniably really well made game, but in a genre that maybe some people weren't ready for. They're like playing this and they're hoping it might be like a Skyrim or something. We walk around just bonk people.
I'm happy at the fact that someone could have more than one opinion about a product,
sure,
than just game bad, or game good.
Yeah.
So no, that's interesting. Turn-based isn't for everyone, obviously, but
no.
I would implore you to give it a shot. There is something satisfying about being able to take your time and make decisions versus just reaction gameplay. There's room for both, but try to open your mind to it a little.
Well, it seems like a lot of people are opening their mind to this game because of the hype. I mean, it's got a higher overall rating than Zelda, which is quite the feat.
On Metacritic, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where that rating would even be.
Yeah, wow. I assumed, I should have been a little more specific about that, but it's got a higher Metacritic rating than Zelda, which is wild for any game. Because Zelda, when Zelda comes out, it's just Zelda best, Zelda win, everything.
It's gonna be a really interesting Game Awards at the end of the year for sure.
Oh yeah,
some crazy games this year.
It's gonna be a really crazy discussion on this channel for Game of the Year because I'm already having a problem thinking of that, and there's still a bunch of
games coming out.
Yeah, which I was gonna ask you about. Maybe we'll have time for that later.
I forgot to even think about it anyway. Yeah. So I could probably give you some pretty obvious ones, but anyway, so I played the beginning of the game and with my brain empty fighter build, it's been pretty simple. I've been really kind of taking my time with the single player because obviously I don't have to hold myself to anyone else's time, and I could just kind of absorb all the pointless stuff that would probably drive people crazy if they watched me play. So that being said, I did start a multiplayer campaign with Chris, and I will probably likely end up making one with you at some point as well. And in that, I made a bard. And let me tell you, I've done nothing but suffer that gameplay loop. I am rolling like complete trash the whole time and just laughing about it because it's just my luck when I play D&D to just not be able to succeed in anything I want to do.
Yeah.
A good example of that is the game offers the ability to pick up and throw things or people if you're strong enough, or push people. And I've literally picked people up and then just dropped them behind me because I just failed the check to throw them, or I went to push someone and I just missed and missed and missed over and over again. I was like, wow, okay, I'm useless.
This is one of the first things I did as soon as you crash in the ship in the beginning. I want to be vague with the story because this game's still fresh and I'm not on console yet. But one of the first things I did is there's the little brain dudes. And I just like
Intellective hours,
picked one of those up and smacked the other one, killed both of them. And I was like, that's satisfying.
So I did that. I was playing with Chris, and I picked one up and chucked it at the other one. He's like, "Did you just throw one at another one?" I was like, "Yeah," and we just started laughing about it.
I didn't even throw it, dude. I picked him up and swung him like a bat into the other one.
Oh, used him as an oh god, what's the word? Improvised weapon.
Yeah.
Which
like,
you can do, by the way.
Like you would do with like a chair or something.
Yeah.
I had hit him. My main guy is like a half elf rogue. And I walked up and stabbed him, almost killed him, and then with I forgot the girl's name, walked over Shadowheart.
Yeah.
Walked over Wildheart. Walked over, picked it up, and just swung into the other one and knocked the other one off a cliff, and then killed the one that I had stabbed. And I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, so we can talk situations because it doesn't really obviously spoil too much of the game. It just kind of gives insight on like things you can do. But yeah, so in that same like area, I didn't quite do that, but I did pick one up and chuck it at another one, and the damage did kill one. And then so it's funny because like obviously like everyone's gonna have a different strategy and a different way to approach a game. And so like Chris taught me to do that. He's like, "Did you just chuck that guy at another guy?" I was like, "Yeah." And so it's just a surprising situation for him. So we're just kind of laughing about it. And then I tried to do it multiple more times, and I just couldn't pick people up. I could pick them up, but I'd go throw them, and they just fall behind me. And now they're behind me.
Oh, interesting. I know it's a thing.
So, I also love that you can just push people off cliffs.
Yep.
If you want to kill someone, just push them off a cliff. Bye.
Yeah, I have a habit of when I use all my action points, or whatever they're called in this, if I have just enough to do a push, I'll do a push sometimes. And in one fight, I had a guy, I didn't realize he was almost dead, but I had like hit him. My character was like in a corner. He came running in a door at me. I hit him. And then in the last moment, I shoved him and he went flying down the stairs and he hit a wall and just died. And I don't know if there's actually like wall impact that did the damage, or if the push did the damage, or fall damage and something.
There's definitely fall damage.
Or something that happened there on the stairs. Impact. But yeah, I don't know. But something in that push killed him. And I was like, oh, yeah, that works. He just like never got up. He just like went flying downstairs and just laid there. I was like, okay, that works for me. Like he's dead. So yeah, there's a lot of little cool situational things. And like prior in that exact same fight, I had noticed there was a bunch of dudes in a room down a hallway. And so my character's a rogue, and I did a stealth shot into one guy's back and just killed him one hit. And I was like, that was satisfying as shit. Yeah. And then I lured them down the
hall. D&D are great. Anyways,
yeah, so. I lure in the stealth system, even though it's weird to be moving my character slowly, but they're moving actively. The stealth's kind of weird. I got used to it. But anyway, after I killed that guy, I lured them down the hall, shot an oil barrel, and then just launched a fireball in there, lit them all on fire. And I was like, there's just like, for anybody who's like not into this genre, hasn't really played this yet, and maybe you're looking at it and going like, what kind of game is it? It kind of reminds me of like XCOM is like a more like simplified version of like a deeper RPG, because it's just basically a tactical game. But it reminds me of that on crack in terms of like strategic stuff you can do. But of course, if you've played Divinity Original Sin and Original Sin 2,
D&D,
it's going to be, well, yeah, but Larian has done a lot of these systems already in prior games.
For sure. I'm just saying,
so like
it translates well.
The implementation of environmental stuff is like such an awesome tool to use in this game. It's just like shoving someone down the stairs.
Well, yeah. So another example of that too is like, so Chris is playing a wizard and I'm playing a bard in our co-op one, and he casts grease, which for anyone not unfamiliar is slippery and flammable. So they failed their balance checks. They fell, and then he threw a fireball in it the next turn and caught it on fire, and then they were ablaze. And then one guy tried to leave that, and I just pushed him back into the fire. So
that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so we were just trying to keep them in that, and they just burnt to death. So
I like how pushing has like a directional thing too, where you can kind of like decide where
you want to walk around them so you can push them the way you want them to go. Yeah, for sure. I also like that you could be a real dick. I didn't want them to come in the room with us, and so I threw a treasure chest in the doorway, and they couldn't get in. So, because I just picked up and went, ugh, and then now there's a barricade.
Is there anything they could do to work around that?
I'm sure they could probably, if I don't know if they're smart enough to, but if I could pick it up, they should be able to pick it up.
Yeah, or at least break it, hopefully, because otherwise that'd be kind of exploitative.
Well, except for you can't get out either.
Yeah.
So
Can you shoot them though?
So the one thing you probably could, but the one thing I have noticed, if they can't access you, they won't rush you. So like we put a grease puddle preemptively before, and they would not come down the hallway. So they're not stupid in that regard.
Yeah.
They saw the trap and they went, "No, we'll wait till it wears off." So, so you might just be there forever. But they were already in the hallway with us, and I was just trying to separate them at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if they allow it, they allow it. I just I'm worried like if the AI can't counteract that could be kind of a misstep.
yeah,
But that's it's still like if they can react to it, cool, because that's still neat that you can even fucking do that as a strategy.
Well, yeah, block
like
the guy
as soon as you
with
mentioned
us,
it, I was like,
yeah.
As soon as you mentioned it, though, I'm like, if they can't figure that out, though, that's gonna kind of suck. Because then, like, why wouldn't you always just?
Yeah, they will, basically run at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So you either have to come for them, or you're just endlessly clicking next turn. So, I do think they have obviously thought about that, because, like I said, with the grease puddle, when we put it in that same hallway, they were right here, and then they went around, and they went away from the grease puddle when we put it down. So I think they definitely are aware if they can get to you or not. Yeah, as far as like how far I got in that one as well, I literally got to the same exact spot with my single player one, and I was like, well, it's 4 a.m. I need to go to sleep. So, yeah, so that's the only part of the game I've seen. So I've barely seen it. I've already feel like I've done a lot, and I'm sure there's plenty more to do.
Yeah, I'm still early in Act 1. I think it's Act 1. But because I'm like checking every nook and cranny and fucking grabbing everything I can, talking to every single, and that's weird for me too, because in a lot of games I don't talk with every NPC, because a lot of times I don't think they're interesting enough and the story's not interesting enough in a lot of games. But in this, if you can have an interaction with someone where there's choices, I want to have those, because a lot of them have outcomes, which just shows that this early in the game there's already that much choice happening that I don't want to miss out on that. So I talk with like every single fucking character and look for every little thing. And because I'm playing a half elf rogue, like my perception's really good, so I'm picking up things constantly everywhere I walk. And
I guess I didn't tell my races. So yeah, I
thought you did.
I said my jobs, but not my races. He has an elven elf. Yeah, I have an elf fighter for my single player, and my bard is a gnome. So, which is not usual for me, but I wanted to play something out of my comfort zone with my multiplayer character. So,
yeah.
The other thing I think I'll bring up too is that if you miss BioWare, I would play this, because it has a lot of those things that BioWare games used to be known for. Yep. So, and just as some examples, conversation systems, which have, approve and disapprovals from your NPC allies, and, romance systems, stuff like that. They're all in this game, to the point where they released statistics the other day of what people have done in the game. And I can't remember the exact number, but a lot, it's like something like 70% people who tried to get with the gray-haired dude got rejected. So kind of funny. Also, like, if you're a D&D fan and you're used to things like talk to animals and stuff like that, like the animals will have like actual conversations with you and stuff. So
yeah, I talked with a squirrel and a cow.
Yeah, I haven't messed with it yet, but I've seen clips, and it's cool that they even put it in the game. So
yeah. That I could click on a squirrel like running across. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? As soon as I clicked on, I'm like, what happens here? And then like a whole thing happened where I'm, I guess, like looking at this squirrel, and the squirrel's looking at him, and it's like, you think you can pick up something from the squirrel, and like one of the things is like, I don't know, intuition or something, because of my race, I don't remember, but I started like being able to like almost have a conversation with this thing. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This is wild. I'm even spending time doing this.
Yeah, I would, and maybe I'll do it whenever I play with you, but the idea of playing like a druid or something would be kind of fun.
My next character I want to make some kind of like big buff, fucking hit hard type guy.
Very satisfying in D&D. So yeah,
Yeah.
I have that with my single player, except for I use a bow instead of a sword, and I literally was like, I'm playing this one by myself. I want my character to just be simple and do the thing I need to do, and then I'll just pick NPCs to complement what I need done. I do have one complaint. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 allows you to make full parties of customizable characters. Baldur's Gate 3 does not. You get to make a character, and in multiplayer, they get to make a character, but you still, if you don't have a full party, you have to use NPCs. So,
Maybe we'll
not
change
a
that.
huge deal because the NPCs are interesting enough, but I would like to be able to just create a whole party to control for myself. That would be pretty cool. And yeah, like I said, they could be able to do it later. I do think they're trying to be a little more story focused in this one.
Well, 100%, because a lot of the game is talking with the NPCs that are in your party.
Yeah. Well, and they're still in the camp, so I don't know why they couldn't still have
Yeah,
that.
but there's stuff that happens when you're out in the wild too.
Yeah, I mean, they could show up.
So,
yeah, there's ways around it.
Well, I'm not arguing against not doing it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that there is a lot of focus on that. And so I understand 100% why they're trying to make sure you don't miss out on stuff they put into the game. What I think that would be a cool compromise is some kind of option you turn on and off to have that tells you that. Or when you've beaten the game once, be able to do a full party of custom characters so that you have gone through and at least tried to experience that. But yeah, if you can play with 4 people wherever the hell and everybody's got their own custom character, it's already in the game, and they're just not allowing you to do it with 2 separate characters that you've created. So
yeah, so yeah, for whatever reason, unless you can, and I'm just dumb, let me know. But
let him know if he's dumb.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I know of it so far. It's not a huge deal. The NPCs are actually interesting in this game. Thank you. They were interesting in 1 and 2 as well, so I appreciate that. I don't know if a certain bald friend will be in this game. We will see. I hope so. And him and Minsk or whatever the little chipmunk hamster thing's name is. I think it was a hamster. It's been a long time. The game's old. So, yeah. Because I do think it's a direct sequel.
It's 3.
Yeah, I think it's connected. And unfortunately, I don't remember the story of 2 at all at this point. So, maybe I should watch a recap. Anyways. Been playing it, having a lot of fun with it. I look forward to like actually investing time into it, but I need to beat Final Fantasy 16 first. So,
Yeah, that's me with the Remnant 2 and Final Fantasy 16.
yeah.
Need to beat those.
Yep, that's what I've been playing.
All right, well, I've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I pretty much agree with most of the things you said there. I am playing a half-elf rogue. I've already talked about that. It's the only character I have so far. I've been playing by myself because it's such a story-heavy game that I wanted to, play without any kind of distractions. But I also would like to play with people as well, of course. But I did learn with Celasta. I have like 3 different campaigns with different people on every campaign, and no single-player campaign. I'm not continuing any of those campaigns. So I was like, I need a single-player campaign in this game so I can just play when I want to play. Because obviously everybody's got their own schedules and stuff, so not a big deal. But does kind of suck when I want to keep playing a game. Yeah, so playing that, I am a little past the point you're at. I feel like I should be further, but I'm really just doing every little thing that I can. Doing a lot of experimentation and combat too, and just really savoring the game. They've put so much work into this game that like there's so much to appreciate, whereas in like a lot of other games I'm just like running through and passing a bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter, vacant empty worlds with nothing going on, just to get into the combat so I can level quickly because I want the new stuff to unlock. In this game, you don't level super fast. I'm not getting gear all the time, but I am having an adventure that I'm constantly feeling like my choices are dictating what's going to happen. You brought up the Bioware thing. We had talked about that before. This is definitely bringing me back to, this feels like the natural progression of what Bioware should be doing now, and other companies.
That's what Dragon Age should be.
Other companies like them back in the day when they're trying to make games like this. The proto version of this game. It really is scratching the itch of like back in the day feeling like I had choices that actually had consequences. Similar to like Bethesda games back in the day where you talk with people and you can go on an adventure or, just kill them on the spot and it changes the whole course of the quest. And Bethesda makes a game like that, not very often and on the same fucking engine forever. Those things have kind of become stagnant in gaming. And so it's so refreshing to play a game where, I'm not drawn into the game purely by the prospect of leveling and gear, but the experience itself, the adventure itself. It's really fucking super refreshing. It's super refreshing to play this game. And shout out to Solasta as well. For a game with a much lower budget and smaller team, they also were able to give something not quite to this degree, but something that kind of helped with that as well. So at least there is some games out there doing it, but this is like the standard now, the pinnacle of a game where you have all these choices. You're not supposed to hold
this as a standard.
Sorry, dude, that's just how it is. Somebody put the effort in and they're going to get rewarded for it. So
yeah, for sure, that's
how it works. The game's fantastic though. It's a fucking gorgeous game. It's got a good soundtrack. The voice acting is really good.
Spot on.
Super compelling. All the characters are interesting. Even the ones that like as a personality, I'm like, nah, you're not really the type of person I would jive with. They're still done. They're a realized character with an actor who's doing a really good job.
What's the wizard's name again? Gale. That dude is so charismatic.
Yeah. Yeah, Gale's definitely that character. When I met him, I'm like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
He's cool. I forgot the fucking half-elf vampire dude's name, the gray-haired guy. He's basically my character, except for slightly different.
I can't remember his name either now.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of the characters, what they're going to do is they're going to warm up to you, just like Shadowheart is like, well, you don't need to know anything about me.
She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Which is gonna be fun. I'm not there yet though. But anyway, they're all done very well though. I'm really impressed with the quality of the writing and the performances. It's awesome. Also, the D&D narrator is fucking dope. I love that.
Such a good feature.
The voice acting of the D&D narrator, the DM, is done very well as well. It's super subtle, but like has some like. It's like right at the right time when she starts talking about what's happening.
It's just the right amount of emotion behind it too.
Yeah.
For like a storyteller.
Yeah, it's like in real life, if somebody was telling a story and they put that much effort into the storytelling, I would appreciate that. And they did a really good job on that. They didn't even have to have that in the game at all, and they do, and it's a really good. They did a great job. There was another thing too on that regard. Another thing I really like that kind of reminds me of just like playing D&D is the dice rolls in this game, and the custom dice. I think it's neat as well that you can change the dice out.
Give me more.
Yes. Yeah. Sell fucking DLC packs. Like if someone's super into this game, they would totally buy new dice. But they're so satisfying to watch the actual die roll and then drop, and then you get the success or failure, and then seeing your bonuses underneath it. So like it's like you need a 5, and it's like I got 5 in my bonuses easily, but then the dice is just rolling. Yeah. So it's super satisfying. Also the active what's the word? I said it earlier and I forgot. Your intuition, basically, when you're walking around.
Skill checks, basically.
Yeah. I like when those start just kind of popping up randomly. But just like in D&D,
stressful though.
Back in the day, playing D&D when I was younger, you're just like playing, and then the DM's like, "All right, roll the dice." And it's like, "Why?" It's like, "Just roll them."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So it's like it reminds me of that. I'm just like clicking around looking for things. All of a sudden, it's like skill check. I'm like,
yeah, what's up with this room?
What's going on, dude? Although my dude's been super perceptive because like I walk in a room and it's just like skill check. It's like, oh, there's a trap. I'm like, oh, okay.
My single player character is. My multiplayer, me and Chris, like couldn't find shit.
Yeah, I took the weird little half elf dude and then my half elf, and I just like combed the room. I was like, okay, there's all the traps. Found them all.
Yeah.
I left the other people out because I was like, I I don't want you guys to get hit with something. But it was even cool to be able to do that. So yeah, really everything's so thoughtful. I really love the experience so far in the game. And then combat is really good. I am not somebody who thinks the combat is bad. I think it's really fantastic. It's definitely feels like an extension of what Larian's done in the past with Original Sin 1 too. But
also on that note, real quick, sorry, I know I keep interjecting, but
that's fine. It's a conversation.
In multiplayer, the way initiative works, if we both roll a 5, for example, our turns are at the same time.
Oh, weird.
So it's turn-based, but by initiative numbers. So if we had a point where 5 people had rolled the same number, all 5 of them went at the same time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But because it was their turn, because D&D's based in in seconds or happening or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's a really interesting way to handle that. So
yeah, that is really interesting.
So yeah, everyone else is still paused because it's not their turn initiative wise, but because you rolled the same number, you would technically be moving at the same time. So
gotcha.
Yeah, just to throw that out there. So
yeah, so a lot of really thoughtful and really cool systems in the game. I think that was funny that I was walking by and my dude picked up that there was something that could be dug up in the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I walked over and it's like, you need a shovel. I'm like, so I was wandering around. I eventually just found one against the wall. I was like, hey, here's a shovel. Yeah. And then I went back and dug that up. So there's just there's so many little things that just makes it feel like an adventure that it's super immersive. And I'm not one to typically get immersed in games, but it just has all these little things all over it that you're just like, when to interact with that, when to interact with this, like, what does this do? What does that do? What's in here? What's that? And yeah, I'm just like super fucking enjoying it. I would talk about it a little bit more in terms of story, but I'm not that far into it. And there are plenty of people who can't even play the game yet. So I think it'd be best to stay away from that. So far, the story's interesting enough.
Sucks because people are posting left and right about it too.
Oh, dude, it's fucking wild. Like, I already am seeing more than I want to see, and I can play the game and have been able to play the game for a long time. And then it's coming out on PlayStation at some point, and then Xbox is unknown. Yeah. There is no date because the situation with that is, so Xbox has this essentially law, this rule that if you put any game out on Xbox Series X, it has to come out on Series S. And so that holds people back, and it is a net negative in gaming. I know some people got their S's and they're happy with them, and I'm happy for you, but it really sucks that we are in this new generation and it's being held back by the S, or at least Xbox is being held back by the S, because Baldur's Gate would be coming out at the same time as it's coming out on PlayStation if they could get the split screen drop in, drop out co-op working on the Series S, and they will get it. They're working on it, but they can't give a date yet because it's not functioning the way they want it to, because the game's probably too good looking, and the S is not a next gen or current gen console or a last gen console. It's this weird middle thing for people who want to buy a cheap console for their kids to play Minecraft on.
Fair.
I had a stupid argument on Twitter about this, but there's things that the S is definitely going to be good for. And in the future, when Pro consoles come out, it'll be viewed as a streaming console. But in terms of like getting the most out of your current gen console, it is not going to give you that, and it is holding other consoles back, which sucks. So, yeah, this is an example of that. I don't even remember how I got on that topic, but I want to talk about it because people don't have access to the game yet. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to go too deep on anything. There are a couple situations in the story though that I thought were kind of neat. The beginning of the place you're at, where you run into the people at the gate. I thought that was cool that I was just walking by and you can hear them in the distance. And then when I approached it, this cutscene happens, and then naturally,
depending on which direction you come in
from that. Yeah, because from where I showed up at, this whole thing happened, and then seamlessly from that point, I was just in combat. From
I didn't fight there.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Both times.
Oh, well, I did, and I really appreciated how this narrative that's playing out in this cutscene just turned into a fight, which was really neat.
Yeah.
Super satisfying.
To be super vague on that. So the first time I came in through the front, and I was intimidating, I'll just say. And they were like, I don't want a piece of that. And they left. And then the second time I came in through the top, I talked to different people.
I didn't talk to anybody.
Oh, interesting. Did you just start combat or something?
No, I showed up and there was a thing unfolding where people are getting murdered.
Oh. You're talking about the goblin part then?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about the tomb. Sorry. Just
you're talking about the people at the camp who were like, oh yeah. When I played in early access, I just went in there and kicked their ass. This time, I just made them run away.
Yeah, so I made them run away the first playthrough, and then I convinced them it wasn't worth it the second time. You know?
Well, yeah, that's what I did the second time. When I made them run away, it was more so because I had convinced them that there was danger.
Yeah, that was how my second one went. My first one, I literally told them that I would murder them, and it freaked them out, and they ran away.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. And then, the first time I played in early access, when everything was kind of janky, I really utilized all the environmental traps in that area.
Well, and then
fighting them
to the northeast, the teammate that, the two there. I didn't know you could talk to them.
Oh,
and Chris got weirded out because my first reaction was to the cage. I just shot it to break it to free the person, and then combat starts. And I was like, I just murdered those two. And Chris was like, you can talk to them, right? I was like, no idea. I just I instantly was like, oh, my person's in a cage. I got to free them.
Yeah, I've never fought them. Just walked up and talked to them. It was like a cutscene as soon as I even approached.
Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about too much though. But yeah, it's neat. There's a lot of choices, a lot of things, and even though we did the same thing on different playthroughs, you were able to see other scenarios play out. And I've played this part twice, so that's why I chose not to do the combat in the ruins area, because I did that the first time, and it's definitely fun to kick people's ass. But I was like, what can I get away with? So I started seeing, what choices actually, can be utilized. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to keep talking about Baldur's Gate 3 though, just because I'm just going to keep saying it's good and great, and so we'll play it some more, and we'll come back on the next Tastecast and talk about more what we're thinking of it, just because it's super fresh, and I keep thinking about how people still haven't played it. So, but it's fantastic. I see already there's people coming out saying, there's people who are like super anti-hype, which I kind of get, but at the same time, people don't like when things are popular, and I see a lot of people saying the game's overhyped. I mean, that's to each their own. I can't tell you that it's not overly hyped for you personally, but the game is high quality and it's fantastic, and all the praise that people are saying about it, I agree with. So, if my opinion is anything for you watching this, I love the game. It's great, and I would not be surprised to see it win Game of the Year.
Yeah, I would also say if you find people's opinions on things to be positive or negative, if you're like really affected by that, maybe you should not be spending so much time paying attention to what people are saying about stuff at that point. So because the same thing happened with Elden Ring, where people are like, it's overhyped, and I'm like, well, I disagree, and I still, honeymoon phase is over, I still disagree. That game is fantastic.
Well, it's funny. Anytime a Zelda game comes out, I always make a joke about it's Zelda, it's gonna win. Like it's Zelda, because I grew up playing Zelda like everybody else, but I just don't have like a deep love for it. Like
I don't have an affinity for it either.
But I also would never say it's overhyped. I just recognize people love it. That's it, and then I move on with my life.
Yeah,
so
I have no negative feelings about the game. I don't care how much everyone loves it. I'm happy everyone loves it. Yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah, if you like it, cool.
As far as it goes, right? I don't have to love the same thing as everyone else. This isn't a collective.
Yeah, it's there's just a certain kind of person in their mindset where they don't, if they don't like something but people like it, they think.
I have an ex who was like that. She hated everything popular, so
they think they need to be heard on. It's funny too, because you're like one among millions of people, and you think you're gonna sway people's opinions by saying that's overhyped. you should think like me. No one's gonna think like you. You think like you, and you should just accept that and accept their opinions and fucking move on with your life.
True.
So anyway, yeah. For me personally, the game is appropriately hyped and being talked about a lot because it's not only just a great game that should be talked about, but also it's kind of an event in gaming that shows that AAA should be able to achieve stuff like this. Doesn't have to be.
AK, get your shit together.
Doesn't have to be exactly like this game. Because, of course, this is a specific game with a specific brand and specific genre. But this shows that if you have a big team and a lot of money, a lot of resources, you can indeed respect your fans. And AAA should try to do that more often.
And this obviously is not a knock at devs. This generally is the people with the money making these decisions.
Sometimes it's devs, but yeah,
Sure.
it's for the most part. Because I always think back to like Battlefield releasing two Battlefields that weren't very celebrated, and their reaction to that was to blame the fans. And I'm like, that's stupid. And that's not EA. That was DICE saying that. So it's like, you know, we've talked about it many times, but if you are trying to sell me something and I'm like, you know what, I don't really want to buy, I don't want to give you my money for the thing you're offering me, and you're like, well, that's because you're fucking stupid. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm definitely not buying from you now. Like, why? What the fuck are you doing? Why would you? Like, you're dependent on me. Why are you making that a more dumb situation?
Well, and I do think it's important, especially with these large companies, to remind each party involved that our relationship is a financial one. So, like,
yeah, that's it.
If you don't give a product that I feel comfortable putting my money, which took my time to earn,
I'm not getting it back.
I don't want to give it to you. So, you know, try to be a little respectful. And I realize that should go both ways, but you are the one making the product.
Yeah, you're the one who wants something from me.
So I don't have to give you shit.
Yeah. True. So yeah, up your game, AAA, because it can be done, and Larian fucking showed you that. Okay, so moving on from Baldur's Gate 3, it's great. Play it. It's fantastic. Even if you're not into that kind of genre, I think you might like it. I've been playing Remnant 2. I'm trying to get through it. Not because I want to rush through and be done with it. I played the original Remnant earlier this year, and I've been playing it since it came out. So this is a game I think I will be coming back to for years to come. But with all the games out right now, this is a game that I'm like, I can knock this out because it's not going to be a big, huge, long game. I have I think 24, 25 hours in it now. And yeah, and I'm definitely getting gameplay out of it. The game's a blast. I would like to get through it though, just because then I don't have the stress of going, I need to beat that, I need to beat that, I need to beat that.
True.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Finding all the stuff, doing all the secrets. Gameplay is super fucking satisfying. I would like to play it with somebody.
I'm trying.
I've played it with Cody a little bit, and that was a fucking blast. But yeah, it's great. I don't know if I have much to add to it. I haven't beaten the game yet, and I don't want to talk about much of it in terms of the story and places, because I'm excited for other people to find those things out themselves. So let me just say that Remnant 2 is also fantastic, and likely will be in my top 5 games of the year for sure. Let's see. I guess the other games I've been playing that I can't really talk about is Death's Door. I played that. That is on PlayStation Plus. We'll be talking about that at the end of the month for Plus Club. So come back for a full discussion on that game. But in case you're curious about where I'm at in that game, I just got through the first area with the witch. So if you're playing it, you know what I'm talking about. But it's essentially the first major boss. There's like a boss or two before that, but it's like one of the 3 that they're setting you up for. So I've played it, and I'll probably play it some more. So we'll see. And then I have experienced Dreams a little bit. Can't talk about it, but I say experienced because I'm not making anything in it, but I'm checking other people's stuff out. So I will have opinions on that. Have not played PGA Tour yet. I will play that. That'll be a really easy one. And then I just downloaded Outriders, so I'm getting set up to play that. That is our game of the month. I will likely buy the expansion because I've, full transparency, have beaten Outriders in the past, and coming back to it will give me an excuse to play the expansion. So that will be what I try to do. You haven't beaten the game.
I have not.
So when you hop on, I'll probably just hop in your game and play with you on there. But yeah, I need to check out the expansion because
So half the month is gone. I gotta get on it.
true, shit's flying. This month is flying by. My life is just flying by.
Welcome to getting older.
You know, I got vacation at the beginning of next month. So, and Gamescom is coming up. There's been a drought in like news lately.
We'll see how much actually is talked about at Gamescom, but yeah.
There's a bunch of people, dude. Fucking I forgot 4A games. People who make Metro are going to be there. Like, what are you doing there?
I mean, that makes sense, right? Europe, so.
Yeah, but what are they doing there? They don't have anything announced.
Sure, I'm just saying in general, like it's a European game convention, so it makes sense if European devs showed up to it. So
yeah, everyone's showing up to it. Nintendo is going to be there. Xbox is going to be there. But I'm curious about what they're doing because Metro Exodus came out, I think, in 2019 or 2020. So they got an expansion? They got a new Metro? Like, what the fuck's going on? But yeah, so we'll be definitely covering whatever happens there. I know Jeff Keighley's opening night live, ONL, is going to happen. So we'll likely do some kind of video, whether that's a stream or a video on that. But yeah, that's coming up. So anyway, a lot of things coming up in the months flying by. So I think it's everything. I think it's everything I played.
all right.
And what I plan on playing. So let us know in the comments what games have you guys been playing. Have you played Baldur's Gate 3? What do you think about it? Are you planning on playing Baldur's Gate 3? Maybe you're somebody on console waiting for it to come out. Maybe you're an Xbox player. Maybe I might have upset you with the S talk. Just my honest opinions. Let me know yours. Let's have a conversation. But if you're still waiting for it to come out and you're excited to play it on console, let me know about that. Let me know also your experience with dodging all the stuff being shown right now, because like I'm playing it and I feel like shit's being spoiled for me.
Unfortunately, I've been dodging, but the game has a look, so it's easy to skip past.
Well, luckily there's a lot of choices as well, so somebody else's experience might not be a spoiler for me personally, but I am seeing what's possible and I don't like that. And so somebody who just can't play the game yet, that really sucks, because it's not even like that they haven't picked the game up yet, but they can't play it. So I feel kind of bad, but the game is super popular and everybody wants to talk about it. And with that, if you're playing the game, I'm sure you want to show people what you're doing. So, yeah, I would encourage people just stick to showing people your character and talk about that. But all the clips and pictures of, further into the game, it's a bit much. So. Yeah, let me know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to games you've been playing, games you plan on playing, games you think maybe we should check out. Let us know. Okay, so we got some stuff to react to today. Before we jump into the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase that happened yesterday, a video I originally planned on watching before that one, news was light. I was like, what are we going to talk about? Is Lords of the Fallen hands-on preview. Now, a bunch of places got access to trying the game out, and they're all talking about it now. So I picked the one from IGN because it's probably going to be the better quality. Anytime I watch GameSpot's videos, they always look like shit. But yeah, in case you don't know, Lords of the Fallen is a Souls-like third-person action game where you lock on, you dodge around, you hit things. It is a spiritual... it's kind of a reboot of Lords of the Fallen before, which was made by some other dev that made Atlas Fallen, which is interesting. The Fallen's in both names. But anyway, a new dev has started working on this, and with that, it's looking like a brand new game. So it's a game I've been curious about, especially ever since I saw the new visual style and gameplay looking very Souls-like. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be fun to watch this and see how it's coming. I think you were telling me you had heard that the co-op is more of a seamless situation than Dark Souls, which if that is true, I would be very...
No confirmation. I just kind of read that. So
sure. Yeah. Well, take it with a grain of salt. That could be real or not. But if true, would be really cool because not every game needs to follow Dark Souls formula of multiplayer. We can talk about that all day, but we won't. I think, Neo has showed that, you can just have a co-op game. But yeah, I'm curious about this game. I think it looks really cool from what I've seen so far, so I'm excited to see gameplay and hear what people have to say about it, because that's the big thing is like visually, it could look cool all day, but maybe get your hands on it and you're like, it doesn't play that great. So it'll be interesting to hear somebody talk about it. Do you have any opinions on Lords of the Fallen?
None.
All right, let's watch this video. This is via IGN Lords of the Fallen hands-on preview in 3, 2, 1, and go.
The original Lords of the Fallen holds the distinction as being one of the first non-From Software developed Souls-likes to put its own unique stamp on the genre. It's a stamp that, nearly 10 years later, is very faint and hard to make out, and also has itself been stamped over many, many times. That said, this new Lords of the Fallen, developed by the newly formed Hexworks studio, is looking to put a new stamp on the genre as the first truly next-gen Souls-like. Thanks to visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5, an ambitious parallel realm mechanic, and a release that leaves previous-gen consoles in the dust. I got to play through about 2 hours, and based on those early impressions, Lords of the Fallen is certainly shaping up to leave quite a mark.
It looks really good for Souls-like. Like animation-wise, combat-wise.
My memories of the original Lords of the Fallen have largely faded away, with the exception of one sticking point. I remember that the movement and combat felt very slow and lumbering, even when using a class that's supposed to be the quick one among the 3 starting choices. This new Lords of the Fallen corrects that right out of the gate. I started with the Exiled Stalker, an agility-focused class who fights with twin daggers and employs a style of very fast and rapid strikes, and I found him to be just as quick and responsive as I would have hoped. There's a great fluidity to Lords of the Fallen's combat too. You can seamlessly flow from light attacks to heavy attacks, and you can even change weapon stance in the middle of a combo as well. I could start with 2 light attacks, press the stance switch button, and do another light attack, and I'd get a unique strike in which my character seamlessly goes from a dual-wielded slash to a 2-handed thrust. This is even better when you add magic to the equation, as you're able to easily swap between melee and magic attacks even mid-combo. It opens the door for a lot of freedom of expression through combat, which is something
Magic's
that you don't
flashy
see
looking.
all that often in the Souls-like genre.
Yeah,
I did have some
like
issues with the camera making sudden, jerky movements while I was locked onto an enemy, which threw me off occasionally, and the sound effects felt a little off, but outside of those minor nags, I had a great time with Lords of the Fallen's combat. It is a bit more forgiving than most other Souls-likes I've played, with very generous parry windows, lots of invulnerability frames on your dodge roll, and enemy attacks that feel very deliberately timed to allow you to get just out of the way if you dodge right after you attack. But that said, there's still a lot of challenge that comes from the level design and the situations you're put in.
Just make a fun third-person action game.
Perch is built entirely along the side of a mountain, with instant kill falls being a threat at literally every turn. Add on to that the fact that enemies have a nasty habit of hiding behind boxes and then lunging out at you at just the right moment to try to shove you off the edge. But fortunately, you can also turn this to your advantage thanks to both a strong kick that can be executed by pressing in both bumpers at the same time, and a technique called Soul Flay, which allows you to rip the soul out of an enemy and yank it in a direction, causing the body to follow along with it, leading to a very Looney Tunes-esque fall to their death. I also got to try a handful of boss fights that range from the imposing Holy Knight Pieta to the absolutely disgusting beast known as the Bog Lord. Every boss I encountered was a multi-phase battle, with the boss becoming substantially tougher as the fight progressed. After taking enough damage, Pieta, for example, would suddenly sprout wings, giving her access to a devastating dashing attack that left a downpour of heavenly swords in her wake. It was a fun fight. It struck a great balance between being tough, but also having very clear tells and easily discernible attacks with intuitive ways to avoid
this looks
damage.
dope.
The Boglord fight I was much less of a fan of, though I only reached him at the end of my demo and only got a couple of attempts in before I had to put down the controller. When things moved to the corners of the arena, the camera felt like it was actively working against me, and I had a hard time telling what attack was coming my way.
Software
that was the most underwhelming part of the demo, but by far the most exciting and unique element in Lords of the Fallen is the relationship between the 2 parallel realms, Axiom and Umbral. Axiom is the world of the living, and bathed in a warm, comforting glow, while Umbral is oppressively dark and depraved. There are gross, flesh-like tendrils that spread all over the place, eyeballs that constantly watch you, bodies all plastered against the wall. It's very unsettling stuff. To bridge the gap between the 2 realms, you have a lamp that lets you peer into Umbral and see the differences between the 2 realms, sometimes revealing a path that only exists in Umbral, such as a bridge.
I've seen something like that. I've seen games try stuff like that,
you'll need more than just the lantern. You'll need to cross realms and fully enter Umbral
it's very fluid.
To interact with certain objects in order to clear a path. Doing so is dangerous though, because dying in Axiom is fine. You'll respawn right where you are a few seconds later, only in Umbral. If you die while in Umbral though, it's back to the last checkpoint for you as you do the usual Souls-like song and dance of having to fight your way back to the spot you died in order to reclaim your lost currency. we have a full deep dive going into the Axiom
Soul
Umbral mechanics, so I
Is
won't
that
go
what it's
into it in too much more detail here. But what stood out to me was that even though the idea of having two parallel but thematically different realms is not a new idea in games, here in Lords of the Fallen, it never feels like a gimmick. Instead, just about every element of the game is enhanced by it. Exploration is more exciting when you have to make that call of whether or not you should make the jump into the Umbral realm. Combat is much trickier when you must also consider having to use your lamp in Axiom to try to burn away hidden Umbral parasites that make enemies stronger. And discovering gear and items is far more rewarding when you're able to spot a chest or item pickup that exists in one realm and not the other. It's clear that a lot of lessons were learned from the first Lords of the Fallen, to the point where this new version feels like it's entirely its own thing. And from my early impressions, so far, it seems like it's heading in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and for more Lords
Nothing
of the
on
Fallen,
multiplayer though. I want to know about that multiplayer, because if I can play that, like fully co-op, I'm so down. Because that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Which I guess just jump in. Pretty happy with the way the game's looking. It looks way better than the last game. Obviously, it's being made by a different dev. It being on Unreal Engine definitely gives it an edge in its graphics, but also the spell effects, all that kind of stuff, which I think are cool looking, but they are a bit much. Especially the fire like took up the whole fucking screen. The interdimensional thing is intriguing. At first, when they kind of first showed it, I was like, it seems kind of gimmicky, but the way they described that and how seamless it is, something you kind of brought up, it's interesting that there are two parallel versions of the place you're in actively happening, where you could use the lamp to see into the other one, but also just turn it on where you're there. And it didn't because I've played like horror games that do stuff like that. I can't think of, there's one back in the day, but when people attempt to do stuff like that, they just kind of retexture the same place, and that actually looked kind of different. Like it was like completely different looking. So that's really intriguing. The big thing here, though, and the big thing that I think a lot of these type of games suffer with is combat is not that great in a lot of these Souls-like games, with the exception of Neo. Neo's combat is so good and so different than Dark Souls that I can't even like compare the two because they're just different. But yeah, a lot of them will feel sluggish or kind of wonky. Like as an example, the Surge was a cool idea, but very clunky. Not a satisfying game to play combat-wise. And then the original Lords of the Fallen, I thought felt like a good, like B-rated Dark Souls light game, but didn't have enough like ideas to really like hold its own as a game worth really mentioning. But the combat was kind of floaty. I remember you'd lock on, the way your character moved felt kind of floaty. The blocking and striking felt kind of floaty. And so looking at this, the combat does look a lot more snappier, a lot more fluid. The character movements are a lot more fluid looking. This character we're looking at right now, who's like swinging quickly, definitely looks like a character I would play. And it doesn't look like just like a carbon copy of Dark Souls, but seems to have the fluidity and snappiness of something that's trying to be like that, which I really appreciate. Visual style is interesting as well, because it's another dark medieval fantasy game that's typical in this genre, but it has a flair to it that feels different than Dark Souls 2, which I kind of appreciate, because a lot of games just when they try to make a game within that genre will just kind of take a lot from it. This definitely has some stuff that feels of its own, so that's cool. And yeah, I definitely think I'm going to pick this up. Everything about it seems pretty cool to me. I would like to know more about the co-op, though, if there is. I don't know anything about it. And not to get my hopes up, but I do hope that it has just straight up co-op, because I feel like, especially when they said this game's not as challenging as Dark Souls, which not every game that's a third-person lock-on game needs to be a super challenging game. Just make like a fun third-person action game with like gear and leveling, stuff like that. But doing that with a friend, which would make me curious about how this interdimensional shit works with somebody if you played with them. playing a game like this with your friend, I think would be a blast. Just like, Neo is. So, yeah, overall, I definitely think I'm going to pick this up. Looks cool to me.
The combat looks fine. I don't really have like any strong opinions one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It seems all right. The magic effects, I like the art direction and style of them, but they look like they're superimposed onto the game, and it's kind of bothering me.
Some of them kind of remind me of that. Some games still do it. That tech where they make trees, they're like flat, but they turn at you from back in the day.
I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it, but the spells look kind of weird. And like the color palette on them is like, it looks like it's a different game compared to
when the fire blew up. It looked like, I thought the effect looked pretty good, but it stands out a lot. So I kind of get what you're saying.
Well, like there's a point, and you'll have to rewatch it obviously, but there's like a cross, golden cross sticking out of the ground, and it doesn't look like it's part of the world. I don't know how to explain it. And this is a nitpick.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. But I am, that's what we're doing. We're watching and analyzing, obviously. I do like the multi-dimensional stuff. I think it is an interesting take. Excuse me. It reminds me of, I think the game was called Soul Reaver, when they were talking about when you're in that game, it was the afterlife, and you died there. That's when you died. It's the same kind of idea here. It's like the purple skinned dude who had his face covered. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. So like, yeah, you die in the real world, you come back. You die in the other world, you're dead. So interesting in that regard. The aesthetic is what you kind of expect at this point for this kind of game, which isn't no good or a bad thing. It just is what it is.
Definitely better than the original game.
I agree. I'm not a fan of chunky shoulder pad looking people in games.
Everything's so chunky in that original game.
Yeah. So I do think they have found a better style, especially like in the character models and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. Looks interesting. I don't know if I'm like sold. I think co-op would probably push me.
Yeah.
But if it's just literally a Souls game, it depends on when it comes out, I guess. Because if there's other things I want to play, it would probably take a backseat.
Yeah, it's not a game I want to play by myself or not. But if it did have like a co-op mode that wasn't some kind of weird gimmick, I think it would push it a little forward for me in terms of wanting to play it sooner than later.
Yeah.
But overall, at some point, I'm going to play this because it does look like a solid Souls-like. I wish it was a little more inspired visually in terms, like it has a really cool visual style. I think the game looks great. I do like the style a lot, but I wish it was just a little more different than, the dark fantasy look that, you would get from Dark Souls or Elden Ring. And of course, From Software is a very stylistic dev, so all their stuff looks cool as shit. And this looks pretty cool. But I do think it looks a little different, so it's kind of nice that it's got some style, especially the magic. The magic definitely looks different than most games like this. But like you said, some of it looks kind of weird, but it looks pretty decent. But anyway, I think that's the only thing about it that I wish it stood out a little more visually in terms of its style. But it is a good style. It looks good. The graphics are good, so I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, looks cool. Anything else?
No.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about Lords of the Fallen. Are you sold? Are you not sold? Do you want another Souls-like game? Is there any info on this game that you know about that you want to throw out there and let us know about? I should probably look up some stuff on this in terms of like the multiplayer stuff I'm hearing about. If you know, let me know. And yeah, are you ready to pick this up, or are you going to wait on it, or are you not interested at all? Let me know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Lords of the Fallen. All right, the next video we got is a 40-minute video, THQ Nordic Digital Showcase 2023. This happened yesterday, and it is a showcase of all the things that THQ Nordic is working on and coming out with, which should be interesting because THQ Nordic has been they purchased obviously a bunch of the THQ brands when Nordic took them over, and they have been making efforts, at least trying to bring some of those franchises back, experimenting with them, and sometimes adding whole new stuff to them, or bring out sequels. So they're definitely active with a lot of those older brands, but also creating new brands. So I'll be really curious to see what they're bringing to the table, because they're kind of a wild card. So I don't know a whole lot. I did see one thing spoiled for me, but I haven't seen anything on it yet, but I won't talk about it. But I am definitely curious to see what they have here. Got anything to say?
I have no idea.
All right. Is there any THQ Nordic brands titles that you are interested in, or off the top of your head?
I can't even think of one.
Can't think of any? Okay. So we'll just we'll watch this, then we'll talk about it. You ready?
Yep.
All right. This is THQ Nordic Digital Showcase 2023 in 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't know they did showcases. This might be their first one.
Tonight, witness the most inconceivable trailers from our most tremendously anticipated games.
Is this the 70s?
Unbelievable updates
Looks like it.
to the high-spirited titles you already lost your heart to. And a multitude of restrictively exclusive world premieres. Fasten your seatbelts for the Handy Games Pre-Show!
Nice. I don't know what that is.
Previews of upcoming attractions. Get ready for the most bombastic 4-player co-op shooter that you've all been waiting for. And if you think there's nothing new, we've got a
4-player?
surprise for you. Parish packs on an all-inclusive new update, Exodus. And most importantly, it's free. Stay tuned for the breathtaking gameplay of Parish Exodus.
What is this? I'm confused. That game's out?
Yes.
I don't know about it.
Looks pretty good. The guns kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like quick like? Is that what's happening here?
Seems like it. If it was cheap enough, I might try this out. Although the frame rate of this looks like shit.
This is super old school looking. Like,
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, reminds me of Serious Sam.
I kind of like it.
Comply with lethal termination.
Huh.
They talked about like it's out.
And just one more thing.
It might be.
Okay. We'll have to look into that game and see if it's out already. Because I would maybe play it if it was cheap.
And now, a head full of air, a body full of passion. To solve the cryptic puzzles in a Metroidvanian world, don't lose your head.
At least they're honest
because
about
here is the magnificently exclusive animated trailer for this upcoming enigmatic puzzle platformer. Introducing Airhead.
I feel like they're kind of trying to lean towards the Devolver like
Yeah.
mentality.
100%.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's fine.
It's fine, but it feels clunky. I'd rather them just show the fucking trailers.
Game?
I'm trying to see some fucking gameplay. They said Metroidvania.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer's still going. I thought it was ending there, so.
I feel like this is generated with AI.
So is this like years later type of deal?
So I'm really confused on the frame rate. So there's a demo, but we didn't see gameplay.
Yeah, I was say I'm not a big fan of cinematic trailers though. So
Yeah. I'm sure if you're working on the game, that trailer was exciting, but
well, and it serves its purpose for some people. Obviously, it's just
I don't know.
we typically prefer gameplay trailers. So. A Diablo style game.
Time Quest.
The mobile version.
Ever wanted
it's
a
a mobile
brutal
game.
isometric
I was gonna say it looked like a mobile
game
game.
of
Yep.
hack and slash? Add to that a dark and complex story? Sounds phenomenal? Well, we've got something special for you. Lethal Honor is exactly what your
Actually, Cloud
loving
didn't
heart
spend a lot
has
of time
been
on the
waiting
mobile game.
for.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at some brand
It's like
new
enough just to let you know it
gameplay.
exists.
Oh, interesting style.
Yeah.
It's not really my gameplay type, but it does look pretty decent.
You know, my only thing is the animations and the flow of combat looks kind of clunky to me, but I mean, it's definitely got like an interesting style.
I don't know, I feel like it's a game like if people liked Hades, they'd play this. So.
Definitely. Seems like a lesser Hades for sure. Chuck. It's a weird sound effect for knocking a head off.
And now for something completely different.
Than that? Let's go, dude.
Good day, fellow city builder. With Townsman VR for PlayStation VR 2, it is now more immersive than ever to build your own medieval town in virtual
There you go.
reality. Let's dive in.
I think this game's already out.
You can use your hands to move around freely and grab with both hands to rotate and
Is it
zoom,
black and white?
or use one of the thumbsticks.
The game black and
So,
white from back
how
in the
do you
day?
build
Oh.
your own town? You
I was
simply
like, it's
choose a
very
building
obviously
and
color. What's
freely
going on
place
here?
the construction
Yeah, I
site.
gotcha.
Then just wait for your workers to get the required
kinda.
resources. Well, or you give them a helping hand.
Bye.
The adaptive triggers will create some resistance if you hold something in your hand.
You thought? I'm pretty sure it's already on there.
Dang.
I had thought about picking it
The
a couple
farm
times.
is finished, your worker has turned into a farmer. You can just drag them on other targets to assign new jobs on the fly. This makes it very easy to quickly react to any
Yeah, it's
shortages.
literally just the VR version of black and white.
You must make sure you can train soldiers to defend your islands. Oh yeah, you can feel everything you touch with detailed haptic feedback. No matter if it's trees, water, buildings, rain, thunder, I could go on and on and... Ow. I understand. I'll stop talking now. Start building in Townsman VR now. Let's get constructive.
Oh, cool. I can actually just try it.
That guy did a fine job at telling us how the game works, but he is not a
World
voice
premiere.
actor. Because he sound like just some random dude. You can do this, ow. Interesting.
Rob will get the shit out of this.
Pikmin meets one of those automation games meets almost like it's not Magica because it doesn't have the magic part, but just kind of reminded me of it. A bunch of little dudes running around with staffs. Oh god, look kind of interesting.
Coming soon. They threatened him with death. They threw him in a pit. They banished him from the commune. Now it's his time to make a stand. One rat will rise and make his
Yeah, dude,
way
he's so
back
fluffy. Why
home.
would you do that to him?
Stay tuned for A Rat's Quest.
No, underwater. Damn it. This one actually looks pretty interesting.
You wanted a challenge, righty?
Is there sound in the game?
Granted.
In the game, probably. In the trailer, no.
Well, it made some rock sound effects there, but like there's not even footsteps or anything. Fucking eerie.
I was kind of getting like chibi Robo vibes.
Brothers in Mischief. Forever.
Looked like a student project.
That's all. We hope you've had a wonderful time with these upcoming games. Now, enjoy the sensational
All right, that was a
THQ
pre-show.
Nordic
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Showcase. Oh,
Well, I saw some
and
shit I
just
didn't
one
know
more
about.
thing.
Is this one like a sim game? Because in VR, I would totally play that. Tattoo sim?
Get more
Oh,
out
yeah.
of life.
I think that was just a
Play
thing.
It was, yeah.
video games.
Fast forward.
Bro,
This ain't live. We can just
what in the
do this now.
fuck is even going on, man? Is that Alone in the Dark? Do they own that? Kind of curious about that one.
What was that train?
Kind of interesting.
Did is that Darksiders?
I forgot they have biomutant. I don't know what they're gonna do with that game. This song just gets louder and louder.
It's been a while since I last talked to anyone like this.
Good looking character.
Things are pretty good for once. I got a job.
The eyes are
Taking a
fucking
client to visit her
vacant,
uncle
but yeah,
with your son.
otherwise.
You know what that is? It's a place where you go when you need a vacation, but it's your family who thinks you should go rather than something you decided on your own. I'm sure it's a fine institution, but that place always felt inevitable to me. Like I'm chained to it. Or like it's keeping me around for something. Like there's something I'm supposed to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? Why the hell do I wake up hearing that damn voice? I know what it sounds like. But it's not what you think. I'm not afraid of that place. I don't want to dig up the past.
Huh.
Download the prologue. Man, Alone in the Dark is just a series that cannot get to do anything but keep revisiting. So hopefully this one will be good.
Pretty sure they said capture an engine under the subtitles.
Whoa, kid! It's so beautiful! It's a snow day, the most magical of days in a young child's life.
South Park game.
Why do you look like
Yes! Yes! There's no kid! It's a snow day! Hey, new kid! It's a snow day, dude! No, it's good, everybody! No, it's good!
It's interesting that they went with 3D because they haven't done that since like 64.
Yeah, I hate it.
I'd have to see gameplay to know.
Oh, the game could be fun. The
Yeah.
visual style is not working for me.
Not much you can do with flat characters like that.
Other than keep them flat.
Yeah. Well, whatever the game's going to be. Obviously, they picked 3D for a reason. I'll be curious to see what it said. Was it co-op? It said? It's interesting.
I taught him that every choice counts. The choices he made changed his life and ours. He remembered Adelpha as a vast and beautiful ecosystem where every living thing
This was
has
like a
its place
360 game.
and its
Not graphics
purpose.
wise, but like
But the invaders
just
brought Sankra
from a little bit we saw like
our
movement
world
flying.
and disconnected us from
Back
each
when like
other.
Vanquish came out.
You see, it is not enough just to climb every tower, as you might do on Earth.
Climb.
One must
Just flew up
uncover how everything in our world is part of a whole. The many hidden relations that connect all living things on Adelpha in perfect harmony. He discovered our secrets, learned how to nurture our creatures,
I'll say this is like an ecosystem.
nourished our plants, to understand that they only grow together. And he learned to influence this delicate system for the better.
That's what it seems like.
The
Interesting.
more effort
He hasn't seen him
put
shoot
in,
anything.
the greater the impact.
I don't think I've really seen a game where you have to deal with.
True hero starts his journey any place he chooses, and eventually makes a difference
that kind of depth of
everywhere he goes. By influencing the balance, supporting the resistance, and defying the invaders with just the right strategy.
Avatar. Here we go.
In return, our planet would grant him the powers of the Yards. Which
It's throwing me
can
off
become
because I
a
want to know
citizen
like,
of
what the
Adelpha
game is.
Yeah, what kind of game
change
is
our
it?
world without it changing you as well.
I need a tech trailer for
Yeah.
that one, but kind of interested. Kinda.
I like that somebody's trying something. It's not just a typical shooter. Recreation. Reminds me of Trackmania or whatever it's called.
How did you
Or
create?
just Nintendo 64 era of racing games in general?
Well,
where things were
So I
more
started
about
back in Red
creativity
Hill
and less
County,
about
you know, over
being a
along the
serious
coast.
racing game.
But then I split the track between Grizzly River and Smoky Hill. Turned one half into a western town, and the other one into a crazy stadium with dinosaurs and jet skis. Just watch.
It's definitely a good take on like Trackmania. But the customization looks A lot easier
by
to use.
yourself?
It's newer,
Well,
obviously.
Bubba, Sarah, and Scooter all helped me. Once we found out about the loops, things got a little out of hand.
This is kind of messed up to say, but I really hope this is a PlayStation Plus game because I'm curious to play it, but I don't know if that I would buy this.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
do
I'm
we do
on the same
now?
page.
What do you think? We play! Oh, wait. What?
Do you really want to race in that?
I got you.
Sure is a way to customize a car. Just change it.
Satisfied? Much better.
It's got physics, which is cool.
I would say this actually looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because not only did it have the crazy customization, but like the cars actually fell apart and stuff.
Yeah, actually had physics. I was expecting it to just kind of be one of those racing games where they're just flat on the fucking track and
Yeah.
feeling like overly arcadey.
Tell a tale of mortals.
Don't touch that. What's wrong with you?
Strands.
Tell of their laughter, their struggles,
Quest?
their glory.
Tell of warlike Sparta. Fate destined them for godlike greatness.
But the gods had other plans.
Their ambition angered the goddess. And winged retribution showed them no mercy.
Staining their strands with darkness.
I was gonna touch that.
I wouldn't.
But don't cut it short. Tell us the whole story.
Tell us about hope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that got spoiled.
Not for me.
Well, I brought it up the other day. I almost forgot. Or yesterday. But yeah, that got spoiled. I feel mixed on it because I need to see gameplay. Because I love the original Titan Quest, but this isn't going to be the same dev unless it is. I didn't check. Let me look real quick.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean it's a cinematic trailer, so thanks for the announcement.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. Where's it at, dude? Oh my god. Who's making it? Grimlore Games. Well, that's weird. Because if I remember correctly, Ironlore made the original, and then those people turned into Crate, and they made Grim Dawn. And that was called Grimlore. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. I'm fucking confused. But anyway, I'm mixed on that because I gotta see gameplay. Because love the original. I would love a sequel, but it's unproven who's working on it. So
this is just gonna be a constant, I think, in this whole showcase.
Yeah.
Keep showing cinematics. We're
Obtain
gonna
safe
keep going.
passage home.
Yeah, exactly.
Reach Vladivostok on an armored train. Command Czechoslovak soldiers stranded in a hostile land. Explore war-torn cities.
This
and the
is looking
Siberian
like something I would
countryside.
probably play.
Deploy squads from the train to explore the surrounding area.
It's Oregon Trail.
Lead your soldiers in real-time tactical battles. Move behind enemy lines. Prepare to fight your way to freedom. Face challenging situations and unexpected obstacles. On this relentless journey, you will realize that your troops are not units, but people. Do whatever it takes to prevail, and keep your soldiers alive. Watch them rise through the ranks, and unlock new skills. Your train will require constant care and attention. Instruct your crew to manage the train efficiently. Repair combat equipment, and craft spare parts. Realize the train's full potential by unlocking new upgrades and enhancing its durability. Reach a safe depot and exchange cars or locomotives. Stockpile and trade supplies. Keep going, or the suffering and loss of all those under your command will have been in vain. This is your last train home.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks right up my alley. I like the micromanaging on the train and then tactical combat for the exploration and stuff. That looks fun. I would probably
also like
play
keeping your people alive, which kind of reminds me of like This War Mine or like fucking XCOM even. Frozen Bite. Why do I know that name?
I don't know.
Oh, Trine.
Come on.
How many Trines are there? They've made so many.
Hey,
Can we stop?
get that plank over there.
Fucking
Yeah.
that's nicely. Jesus.
Shield charge it. Yeah. Hey. Hey.
I don't believe those guys know each other
behind
or
me.
even speak the same language. They're talking to each other like they barely can communicate. See in hell.
We need help.
She didn't care.
What, is this an Ubisoft presentation?
This is fucking better because it's so ridiculous. It's funny.
You just kidnapped the pizza guy?
Yeah.
Yes!
That's how people roll in fucking
Let's go,
Czechoslovakia.
guys!
It's a cool cat. I don't remember the being. I mean, I only played Trine and Trine 2, so I'm probably behind.
Ready
you,
for
but,
round two? Yeah,
I don't remember like boss battles. Trine 5, holy shit. Those guys are busy.
Or not.
That was an awful commercial.
I hated that.
The dialogue was so, it was like a Tommy Wiseau movie.
Dang.
See you now.
Oh. Oh. This looks cool.
He's just a little guy. This reminds me of a different perspective, but Astroneers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I didn't play that game, oh, dude, I would definitely play this.
Check out Astroneers.
Damn, bro, calm down.
Hate that thing. This guy was Indianated. Walking around going, Baldur's Gate 3 is overhyped.
Fuck these guys. Nah, that looks cool.
Space for Sale. Yeah, it looks like a fun little indie game.
I haven't cared about a single one of their like more AAA games, but all the little indie games, like, yeah, that looks cool.
True, yeah.
Like that.
Well, it seems like they're fucking
Simba
financing some, ideas.
Yeah.
That other places wouldn't. Funding.
Hunting sim. So you pretend to be the owner of Jimmy John's, or
Jimmy John's do something?
Fucking, I guess he's not the owner anymore, but Papa John's as well. Apparently, if you have John in the name, you hunt things. Hard pass.
Josh will play it. Need some like energetic music going on here, dude. It's getting a little quiet.
Battle command
excitement up.
uplink initializing. Please stand by. The Dynasty have amassed an enormous army right under our noses. And as of 10 minutes ago, while the GDF Council was debating whether to even respond, the Dynasty have launched attacks across our western border. They've been planning this for God knows how long.
3 Realms? They're still around?
Red. Issue an immediate retreat order to all GDF units in 10 miles. Get our troops out of there. Weapons free.
Isn't that the original Duke Nukem people?
Fire
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Get our drone fleet in the
Yeah,
air
it's
and get
fucking.
the satellite
Unless it's a different 3 Realms.
But...
But
Maybe they just bought the name.
yeah.
Well,
RTS?
the beginning of the trailer was a downer. On RTS, though? Yeah. Kind of down. Don't make a lot of these anymore.
I have reinforcements on their way to you. Pull that base apart.
See, that's all you do is you have to show me some gameplay, and I perked up. You're killing me with that boring beginning.
Yeah.
You've discovered a strange property. On a large scale, the event could be catastrophic. Get me one of these missiles, Commander.
Maybe.
Tempest Rising. Yeah, I'd keep my eye on it. I don't want to see a whole lot of RTSs anymore, so.
Oh, okay.
You can check it out.
If I could
3
remember
Realms
to.
is so weird.
It is weird.
Off your ass! And you ain't paid your nugs yet?
I'm glad there was subtitles there, because I just heard noises come out of that guy.
Typical British person. Oh, is this I forgot they're even making this. Fucking Gothic remake. Unless it's not, but I'm pretty sure THQ Nordic was
Get out of here!
making
Calm
that.
down. I'm going. Good choice. You have a good day too. Don't have fucking excuses. You think this is a joke or what? Any reason you're still breathing?
So everyone just hates each other. Okay.
What's it, you idiot? What a fool.
One at a time, boys.
There's the life.
You had your share, mate. Get lost. Get lost.
Dang, you're throwing a fit.
They're just sipping on a health potion.
What was that? Sorry, you fucking mess him up.
Who would put that head here?
I'm pretty sure they're slaves.
They're all beating the shit out of each other.
Still taking bets?
Sure.
That's a big boy. Come on, fry him. Yeah. I really thought you could get away with this, eh? Wait.
Show gameplay.
Or the title?
That is pretty funny.
They literally didn't say the title of the game.
Yeah. That's fucking weird. That was Gothic, I believe.
Yeah, it was a pretty mad trailer for me, but
I just want to see gameplay.
This probably won't do much for me either. But I think Ninja Turtles are a relic of an era. So
most wouldn't agree, but I agree. Though this is something I covered, the last Ronin, which is apparently a comic that a lot of people really like. I accidentally spoiled something from that comic.
I remember you saying
that. Hey, there it is, Gothic. That's fucking bizarre that they didn't even tell people what that game was. There's like, this.
What's the matter, Emily? Why are you so sad all the time? Nothing is the matter. Nothing at all.
No, but I guess the last Ronin is a comic where like it's the last of the turtles is alive and he uses all the other turtles' weapons or whatever. I didn't realize that it's a secret which turtle survived, and he's going for revenge or whatever. And at the end, you find out who it is. But in the TikTok I had made, I just like it's about blah blah blah, and I named the turtle getting revenge for his brothers, and people were like, hey dude, like I'm really excited about this game, but you probably shouldn't have told people that. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, is that like a spoiler? Like, yeah, it's like the whole thing. Because at the end you find out what turtle survived. And I was like, fuck. So like I
it's just me now.
Took it, cut that part out, and re-uploaded it. I was like, holy shit. I feel like an asshole.
Yeah, it happens. But
I guess that game, they're gonna be they're influenced by God of War, the new God of War games, gameplay wise. So it's supposed to be like a AAA Ninja Turtles game. So I got to see it before I can even have an opinion on it, but it could be cool. But yeah, Ninja Turtles doesn't do much for me anymore. It did when I was a kid, but I don't care a whole lot anymore. So basically saw a lot of interesting ideas being put out there. They look like they got a little bit indie jank to them, even though it's technically not indie. But some unexpected stuff. Which is cool.
What am I supposed to do?
Face is wild. It's like it goes inflated. Curious about that RTS. Curious to see gameplay for Titan Quest 2. You guys got a great opportunity right now because Diablo 4 apparently Season 1 pissed people off. Although Path of Exile 2, I'm sure will be celebrated, so
fingers crossed.
Yeah. Is that everything?
Yeah.
It's not going to tell us it ended. It just doesn't show us the title to the game. All right. What do we think?
I mean, for the most part, it was fine. The pacing was pretty good.
Pretty good's a good word for it.
The problem always, it's not these guys, it's a lot of people's showcases. They like to do announcement trailers with like cinematic stuff, and it's nice to know that these things are coming out, but as someone watching like a showcase, that kind of like is meh for me. And maybe my expectations are just, different, but I watch these to see games, not to see CG announcements. So
yeah, if you're gonna pull a CG trailer announcement for anything, make it brief, have it be followed by gameplay, or you better have a reason you made a CG trailer that's worth watching, because otherwise it always feels like a waste of time to me.
Yeah. Also, don't kidnap 4 strangers and force them to play train.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
They like flew around the world, found people from different places, and just threw them in a room together.
Highlights for me though, and I'm gonna forget all the names, so it's just the way it's gonna be. But the train game looks really cool to me. It was probably one of the more interesting games for me. The space survival style game, I can't remember the name of. It's like, it doesn't matter. Anyways, that looked cool to me. And then the racing game and the RTS also looked pretty interesting to me. Everything on Titan Quest, I want to know more about. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's very few ARPGs I don't like, so I don't really have like expectations for that. It just needs to be fun. So I don't have quite the same affinity for Titan Quest that you do. So, but. Yeah, I mean, those were kind of the highlights for me. The rest of it, honestly, I could have done without. I just didn't really care about a lot of them. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have shown them. They're probably for somebody. I'm not the right person for a lot of them. I'm sure Gothic was super exciting for some people. I don't have an attachment to that series. So watching a guy go around town where everyone's beating the shit out of each other while he's stealing an apple and some purses, meh.
I have... an interest in Gothic just because it is a series that had a fan base back in the day. I'd played the original Gothic, but I think it was too far past its time when I did play it originally. And then I have memories of playing Gothic 3 and it not running well, because it was one of the first games ever to have an open world with NPCs that were actively moving around even if they weren't near you. It's before streaming technology existed in open world games, and so the game ran like shit. So I didn't really get to experience that game a whole lot, but at the time it seemed really interesting because it was this big open world. You ran around, you did it, you made choices, you fought things. I'm sure it's awful now, but all I see is there's some potential. They made 3 of those games. People played them back in the day. One of them, the third one, was pretty ambitious to its own detriment. And so I'd like to see what they do with remaking that. See if they can maybe breathe some new life into that series. But yeah, I don't have a strong affinity for it either. I just remember back in the day, it was like kind of like the original Witcher game, one of those games that some people really love,
right.
Other people didn't even really know about it. So, and then obviously The Witcher, which was a janky game, ended up turning into The Witcher 3, but Gothic obviously didn't go anywhere. So we'll see. I pretty much agree with the games you brought up. The racing game I actually think looks pretty fun. The train game, RTS style tactical game, whatever the hell that is, looked pretty cool. The actual RTS by 3D Realms, I'm kind of curious about. It didn't specifically look like super appealing, but that it's an RTS is interesting, so I'd like to see more on it. The South Park game I'm interested in seeing gameplay on, because the idea of having a licensed South Park game that's 3D and co-op is interesting. I just didn't see the gameplay, so I can't have an opinion on it. Gothic I'm interested in. Titan Quest 2, I'm curious on what they're going to do with that. Hopefully they can respect the brand and bring back all the things that made Titan Quest interesting while making it feel like a brand new game. and because the original Titan Quest was not just some like little, like when that game came out, it was like a really big deal, like for ARPGs, because it was like at the time a really good looking game, and you know, so many people were talking about that game that I hope they try to respect the brand, and when they bring it back out, and don't just, you know, half-ass it, because it'd be really easy for me to just go like, okay, well that didn't happen, and move on with my life. So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Not a whole lot of things that felt like must-play games, but a lot of curiosities that if they came out on PlayStation Plus, I'd check them out. Maybe if some of them were like on sale on Steam, I would check them out. One thing I want to give the presentation itself, though, even though I didn't think the flow was that great, kind of annoyed me. There's a lot of really slow, silent scenes of just like the THQ logo that were off-putting for me. But the thing I'll give them is the variety of the stuff THQ Nordics bring to the table. I think is super refreshing. It seems like they got a big range of like, it's a popular term that people are using right now because of Baldur's Gate 3, but like AA type games, not AAA, not quite indie, and then, you know, indie games. They got like a really big variety of different budgeted, different idea, different genre games, and so it's at least making THQ Nordic interesting to see. I don't know what to like. Ubisoft says they got a new game coming out. I can already fucking guess a lot of things about it. THQ Nordic says they got a new game coming out. I don't know, especially because they showed a lot of CGI trailers, but which was not that great. But at least they got me guessing, and that's exciting because you don't really see that with a lot of publishers nowadays. So yeah, it was a pretty good and interesting presentation, and refreshing because there's just a lot here that was unexpected, but no major bangers. Just a couple games I'm like, yeah, I would definitely play that, and some games I'm like, we'll see. But I need to see gameplay, and the biggest one that possibly could be great for me is Titan Quest 2, but we didn't see gameplay, so I can't say anything on that. But overall, it's pretty good. I would give the presentation itself, in terms of the way they crafted and presented it and the things that they showed off, a very, very light B-. I don't want to give it a C+ because there was some interesting stuff here, and it wasn't boring, but also I didn't leave it going like, holy shit, dude, they did like a great job, and I got to play that. But yeah, it was cool.
I mean, my interests aside, I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna give it a B. I do think the presentation was done pretty well. I didn't really feel too much downtime. It was quiet though.
Yes,
I'll
so
give
quiet.
I'll give you that. But I do think that the flow was pretty good.
Yeah.
By the time I was getting sick of something outside of the Trine trailer, we were moving on to something else.
Yeah.
I was just instantly
brief.
annoyed with the Trine trailer. That was so bad.
Yeah, it was
Let's
weird.
not do that again.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah.
it's funny too because you can blatantly tell what they're trying to do. Like everybody can pick up and play Trine, whether it's your delivery guy, your friend down the hall, wherever the hell, your buddy that just got home from work. Like you guys can just pick up and play at any time. Like I get that, but that was a really weird way to fucking do that.
Yeah. Dislike for sure, but there are some things here I didn't know were coming out, and I'm interested in. I one of my favorite things about especially like PC gaming is the plethora of like weird little indie games you get, and there was a ton of them in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to remember to, when we're done filming, go add them to my wish list on Steam so I don't forget about them, because I have the memory of a goldfish.
Well, that's the problem too about games like this. Is like you're like, I never knew that existed. I might check that out, and then you might forget about it.
Yeah.
Too. So like you might never remember it.
And there's just too many games. It has nothing to do with like the games themselves. There's so many games coming out all the time that to remember all of them, I just don't have that kind of brain. So.
Well, I'm looking at one of these games. I'm like, it looks kind of neat. And then Armored Core 6 comes out. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I got shit I got to do. I got to go play Armored Core.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to remember to keep an eye on the games I am interested in. There's a couple I think I will buy, and there's a couple like the RTS I want to keep my eye on.
Yeah, it looks cool.
But that space game and the train game, I'll probably buy. So
yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's know in the comments. What did you guys think of the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it somewhere in between? What games stood out to you? What games looked interesting enough for you to want to maybe pick up or look into at the very least? What games looked awful? What did you think of the Trine 5 trailer? Or commercial? Did you like it? And yeah, let me know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to THQ Nordic and the upcoming games. Also, let me know what you think of Titan Quest and Titan Quest 2, because that seems like it should be the biggest deal here, and it felt kind of lackluster. Also, did you play Gothic? Let me know that. All right, it's that time again where we reflect on past episodes and reply to your comments. If you want your comment prioritized and make sure that we read it, put hashtag AskTLG. Otherwise, I read at random. So we did a reaction to, is this Tastecast? I think this is Tastecast. Let me check real quick. Let's just hop in. This is... No, this is just a TLG Reacts. I forgot. So we did a TLG Reacts to Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail teaser trailer. I forgot. This is like right after we got back from vacation, and we're like, we got to cover that. So
yeah,
in which we talked about that. So make sure to go check that out if you're a Final Fantasy 14 player or potential Final Fantasy 14 player. They're always looking for new players. We got a comment from Homunculus 7 saying, I love this trailer and theme. A great fun adventure in a tropical paradise after every struggle and battle, which seems to be something I keep seeing online. People talking about how it's thematically a welcome difference in terms of I'm not current with Final Fantasy 14, but I have heard that it ends in a way that's, there's a lot building up and
been very
intense.
dark for 4 years. So
It might be nice to kind of like, as a community, just maybe have a nice beach day, maybe go chill. And
I'm sure there will be plenty of stories. Otherwise, like, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, and I'm sure this will be, just the stepping point in a different direction of a different story to build up. But just like an anime, you get an episode super dark. You want to, in the next episode, hopefully bring some comedy to it. Otherwise, it's just going to depress people. But I'm glad you love the trailer and theme. I've seen a lot of people kind of talking about that it feels different, but it seems like everybody's stoked for it. And I'm sure if you're 14 players, excited for new content. So very cool. Do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I think you
excited?
You kind of nailed it. I hate that word. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I can use Aufregend instead of excited.
No, I just a little insight to me. I don't really like get excited, so it's kind of a hard word for me to use. So.
Well, I'm excited for you. All right. Thank you for the comment. And moving on to the next video, which was our spoiler-free review of Final Fantasy 16, which got some pretty minimal views, but I think honestly it's because a lot of people are still playing the game. They probably don't want to hear about it. So I thought about that. I'm like, when I was uploading, I was like, this kind of sucks because anyone playing this game probably doesn't want to hear anybody talk about it, because I don't. So makes sense. But anyway, we reviewed our current impressions of Final Fantasy 16, having not beaten it yet. So it's mostly a preview, impressions, spoiler-free discussion. Make sure to go check that out at your leisure. But we got 2 comments. First one is from Tom B saying, I wanted to play Final Fantasy 16 at launch, but I had 0 time. I feel you. Continuing, he says, oh, I would have hoped the wheel landed on Halo Infinite. It's now in the 4th season, and it is more than complete and in a good place right now. That's really good to hear. They throw plenty of player-made Forge maps into matchmaking. That's cool. I didn't know they did that. 4-player co-op is in. Didn't know that either. He's filling us in, dude. I'm all about this. Custom games browser is up and running. Infection is back. 8v8 squad is so much fun. Plenty of new maps and progression was added. Ranked is sweaty as fuck. Netcode is rock solid. Hope you guys get to try it out again sometime. I might download it just based off what you just said, just to check it out again, because when the multiplayer came out, independent of the campaign, I thought the game itself played really good. I just didn't like the lack of content and the lack of progression. Continuing, he says, enjoyed the Final Fantasy 16 breakdown, you guys. Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of things I was waiting for when it came to Halo Infinite. And so I'm glad they've added some stuff. The co-op was a big thing. I actually played the single player for like 5 seconds, and I was like, I want to play this co-op. So I stopped playing it. So I still haven't played it. And then, I'm glad Infection's back. That was always a blast in Halo. And what was the other thing you said? The Forge maps into matchmaking, I think is really neat. There's definitely an opportunity there. I haven't even fucked with Forge, so that might be cool too. So it might be time for me to return to Halo, because it played good. I just couldn't couldn't play the campaign because I wanted to play co-op, and I didn't play the online because it took like, I forgot, somebody did the math, is like for like, you had to play like 25 rounds or something to unlock something. I don't remember. It was something crazy like that. But while I was playing it, I loved the combat and the gameplay. But I was like, oh, dude, I could play like an older Halo game and not have a fucking battle pass that I have to play through and be unlocking all the same shit that you're giving me now just by playing the game. You know, like helmets and stuff like that. So I was like, this is not it. But hopefully they've balanced it and made it more interesting. I don't hear much about it though anymore, but so hopefully people are playing it. But yeah, very interesting. Anything?
No, not really.
No interest in playing Halo?
I mean, I'm so out of the loop with Halo. It'd be hard pressed to even have an opinion. 4-player co-op seems interesting, I suppose. I don't play competitive games, so it's kind of a loss on me.
Did you buy Infinite?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I would like to play through the co-op campaign at some point, but I don't know anybody who has it.
I didn't play 5 either, though. So
I never beat 5, so because I just couldn't get into the story. But yeah, we're gonna talk about 5. All right, well, thank you for the comment, Tom B. And then the last one we got is from Psycho Scream saying, "Fucking L ... Outriders screaming, laugh my ass off. Shit has been on there for a long ass minute, and it is now off there after that long ass minute." So I agree with you. It's funny. So we've talked about this before, but we always, before we bring the wheel up, before shooting, evaluate the games on there and start taking things off. If they start like, feeling like, it's a little late now. Why are we gonna play that now? Outriders stayed on there for a while because the expansion came out. I didn't pick it up and play because I was playing something else at the time. And every time we discussed it, I'd be like, let's keep it on there. Let's keep it on there because it'll give me a reason to come back and finally play that expansion and get you to actually beat it. And I kept it on there because it is a game that you have played and I feel like would play. It seemed like you enjoyed it enough, the little bit you did play. And it's a game I like as well. So I think it'd be a good situation to have a game that we would both want to play and both can get something out of, whether it's you beat the game or I get to play the expansion content. So that's why it's been on there for a while, and luckily it's finally been pulled, so we will be playing it, and we'll have to check in with you because I know you play it as well, to see if maybe you want to play sometime if we hop on there soon. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, I just downloaded it, so I finally am getting ready to hop in there possibly soon. You have anything to say about the Outriders pick?
I mean, just a friendly reminder, not to scream necessarily, but to everyone, that Game of the Month is a personal list of games that we would like to revisit ourselves, and don't necessarily have to be topical, just things that were on the back burner that we didn't play as much as we wanted, and we want a reason to go back to them. So,
yeah. And that's one reason why the views on Game of the Month fluctuate so much too, because sometimes we'll be playing a game and reviewing it that came out like 5 years ago, and it's like, why the hell would anybody watch that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be a different story if like, this channel was the job that was paying the bills and stuff like that. There'd probably be a little more thought put into putting that kind of content out. But
I mean, yeah, you'd have to be topical, but it's fun. It's always fun revisiting things for me too. But I like playing everything, so yeah. Outriders. We'll be playing it, and I'm very excited to see what they did with the expansion, because I think I heard good things. I think people were saying it was better after that. So especially stylistically, I think the gear got a lot better looking.
The game's so weird just because, and obviously we'll discuss our opinions at the end of the month, but like everyone who's played it has enjoyed it, and yet I believe it was commercially, I think it was a flop, which is strange, but also kind of not surprising because Square Enix's
why is this off center
standard of what is a success and what isn't, I feel is different from other companies a lot of times, because like Tomb Raider, they had that issue with, they sold like 6 million copies or something like that, and they were like, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
So I don't understand their mentality on that kind of stuff. And then Final Fantasy 16 comes out and it sells lower compared to other Final Fantasies, but that was part of the projection because the amount of PS5s in the wild or something like that. So I don't know how the brain works. Whatever.
So. Yeah, they're weird about it, but
Yeah.
it's whatever. But yeah, Outriders. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you for everybody who commented and everybody who watched those episodes. And yeah, comment on this episode and we'll read it on the next Tastecast. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast. And yeah, I've been Seth. This has been Chevy. Thank you for joining me, Chevy. Thank you for joining us for this. And hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Make sure to subscribe if you did and like because it helps the video. And we'll roll the outro. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Tastecast, episode 192. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on our socials and streams linked down below. You can also talk to us anytime, all time on our Discord. We are on iTunes, Spotify, and the podcast platforms. If you prefer to listen to us in audio form, we have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel more than liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you're brand new. And you can check out my TikTok link down below where my longer shorts are going to be now that I can upload shorts to YouTube, but I can only do 60 seconds, so I can't put everything on here. But you understand, check that out if you're interested in TikTok. But yeah, I've been Seth. Until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.